Hey everybody, showtime! How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining me here once again for another live stream. We'll call this what, the Thanksgiving live stream special maybe? Happy holidays to everyone that's out there. Let me know if you can hear and see everything okay. How's the audio sound? Let me know if it needs to be juiced up or turned down. It looks like I'm pretty hot on the vocals tonight, but I can always turn it down. If it's a little too hot, let me know. I want to say welcome to everybody. Happy holidays to you. It's been a month since I was here last. And that was for the release of the Cover Song Mixing Challenge Hard Rock course. Which, thank you so much if you're one of the people that bought it. We sold a lot of those. That was great. And mixes are starting to come in for the mixing contest. I can't wait to hear all the mixes and give away some cool gear. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's the last time we were here. So we got a lot of stuff. We got some new gear to talk about. We got some other new gear. We got a list of things. We're on both channels tonight because, you know, it is Thanksgiving. And whenever I have information to report, it really kind of covers both YouTube channels and both websites in one way or another because they kind of bleed into each other and that kind of thing. So make sure you give the thumbs up. If you dig this live stream and you want to help support what I do here, please hit the super chat and your question will go to the top of the list. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much in advance. Just make sure my phone is not blowing up here. And that's it. We could talk about Black Friday deals. If you guys found any cool Black Friday stuff, there's all kinds of stuff starting to come out now. Speaking about Black Friday, for our Home Recording Made Easy audience, or anybody that wants to, all the training courses between now and the end of Thanksgiving are 60% off. It's the largest sale that I do of the year. So make sure you go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and get a hold of your courses at 60% off. And that includes all the premium courses as well, which I don't do except for the Thanksgiving Black Friday sale. So that means mixing master classes, mixing hybrid courses, all of those, all the tiers, the different packages, everything, 60% off. So go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. You'll see the coupon code right on the homepage. I believe it's SAVE60. Get your courses today, and thank you so much in advance. Also, too, and we'll mention that again a couple of times throughout the stream, audio, video, A-OK. Thanks, Dave. The mixingmadeeasy.net, folks. Last month's content of our 7-year history just got posted the other day. There are no more mixes going into 2025. Mixingmadeeasy.net is going away at the end of the year. Everyone that's a member there knows that. But for people who don't know or people that were considering joining, there will not be a mixingmadeeasy.net in 2025. After 7 years, it was time to call it quits. I got other bigger, better, and hopefully cooler things to offer in the future. So if you go to mixingmadeeasy.net, and you want to purchase any of the back catalog from the last 7 years, go to the website. There's a video, a PDF file you can download, follow the instructions, and I'll be happy to get you some of those courses. And those courses are like less than $20 a piece. So, and those are going away at the end of the year. After New Year's, December 31st, after New Year's Eve, the mixingmadeeasy.net back catalog will no longer be available. I won't be selling it ever again. So this is your chance to get them at a stupid price. That's all the sales stuff out of the way. So fire your questions away. What do you want to talk about? I know some of you want to talk about what's here in front of me or on the side of me. We'll get to that. But let me say hi to all the folks. We have Braxel here. Hey, Braxel. How are you, buddy? We have Nautica here. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Braxel wants to know about the new Apple Mac Mini Pro. Do I think it'll be a good to run your DAW and plugins? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I have a Mac Mini that runs this rig. And even though I usually mostly analog here, but I will tell you, that all of the, well, we're going to be redoing, we'll talk about the whole the whole Home Recording Made Easy catalog and all those courses. We'll talk about that in a bit. It's on my list. But what I want to tell you is I just got done recording 2 courses on this rig, on that Mac Mini, using only plugins. It was all in the box stuff for the Home Recording Made Easy students. And I was running I don't know, a full dozens of plugins. And that Mac Mini, which is the M2, which is not as powerful as this new M4 that's out, it runs without a hiccup. I think the most of the CPU I was using when I looked in Studio One was like 40%. And I was running all native plugins, nothing off the UAD hardware stuff, all native. I was using, I don't know, like a 45 track session. We had plugins all over the place, reverbs, delays, saturation, the whole kit and caboodle. And that Mac Mini M2 with 16 gigs of RAM is just fine. So I think, Braxel, you will be more than good to go with this new Mac Mini Pro. I know it's the size of a cell phone, which is kind of cool. I think you won't have any problems at all. If you're just running, you know, again, I don't know if you get real heavy into the VST instrument world, you know, how many instances of those will you be able to run? Not quite sure, but I got to think you'll be able to do, I got to think it will be just fine. Especially if you spec it up a little bit. You're talking about going with the Pro. If you're speccing it out a little bit, you're going to be fine. Nautica says you were literally going to go watch some chess on YouTube, but you have a love for chess. Well, I'm glad you're here. You can watch us and you can watch chess on another screen, right? Glad to have you here at Common Time Productions. Good to be here. Good to be here. Thank you for being here. Okay, well, we got a lot of people in the chat. This is great. This is great. Okay. Going to be some tasty music. That was my intro music. You like that? Yeah, it's been a month. It's been 1 month. I looked at it today before I went live. I said, when's the last time we did a stream? It seems like it was just a couple of weeks ago when I released the Mixing Hybrid Hard Rock course. But yeah, it's been 4 weeks, literally 4 weeks. I think this is week 5. Man, time flies, right? So yeah, it was important that I get back on here. I like to do these at least once a month, just to catch up with everybody and to stop in and make sure everybody's on track with what they need. Let's see. David's right. Hit that like button, please. I'm sure someone will give me the thumbs down soon because we get that every time, but that's okay. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Hit a super chat if you would. Helps me out a lot. I really do appreciate it. Braxel said he is tempted to buy the new West Audio Pandora multi-brand compressor, but it takes 3 500 series spaces. Oh, I thought that was only a double wide, so that's a triple wide, huh? I didn't realize that. Got some, there may be one of those sneaking into the studio not too long from now, as well as some other West Audio gear. I had a meeting with them last week, so more to come on that in the future. Probably not till the beginning of 2025. Hey, Bobby Boots here. Good to see you, Bob. How are you? Good to see you. Let me scroll down. Happy early Thanksgiving to you as well, and to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? The holidays are here. Woo-wee. Let's see. Bruno's here. Hey, Bruno, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Pedro's here. Couple of first-timers, I think, in the stream. At least first-timers in the chat. Thank you for joining. Good to be here. Let us know what channel you're watching on. We're running on both platforms tonight. Mixing Music Analog and Home Recording Made Easy. We're on both channels, so let us know what channel you're watching from. And if you're not subscribed to both, you should be. Or would you? That would be great. One piece you've been looking at is the SPL EQ. Oh, is that which one? Do they have a new one that came out? Are you talking about the big honking one? I forget which one that is. The big mastering EQ. SPL makes some really good stuff. They do. Anytime I've ever used SPL stuff, it was always really good. They make high-end equipment. Hey, Mark's here. Good to see you, Mark. Thanks for your advice on the Gain Lab Empress. Vintage King at a great price. Oh, you bought it last night. Good for you, man. Congratulations. That's an awesome piece of gear. I love that thing. And speaking of, good segue, Mark. Speaking of Gain Lab Audio, or yeah, Gain Lab. I keep wanting to call them Audio Gain Lab. I think that's a better name. I got that in my brain. I know that's not right. I don't mean to offend the guys. But anyway, you can see here on the bottom, we have another piece of Gain Lab Audio. This is the Governor dual compressor, tube compressor. We're going to be doing some videos. David S.J. is coming up in a couple of weeks. After Thanksgiving, we're going to do a video on this. And then we're going to do a video on this, which we'll talk about in a bit. So I'm a huge fan of that Empress EQ. And ever since I bought that, I've always wanted to try some of their other stuff. So they reached out to me, I don't know, a couple of months back. And they said, hey, would you love to try the Governor? I said, sure, send it. It's a cool, it looks like a really cool 2B compressor. But what makes this a little unique, it's got a couple of different features in it. One of them is it's stereo and it can run dual mono as well. But it has what they call a first slope and a second slope. And it's actually got 2 stages of gain reduction per channel with 2 separate gain reduction meters per channel, which is interesting. I can't wait to, I plugged it in, I played with it a little bit. I've been really busy, so I didn't get a chance to test it out full bore yet. Dave and I are going to do that together, but it is pretty cool, little unique. So they got some really cool stuff. And this is pretty affordable as well. I don't know what you paid for your EQ mark, but this is under the $3,000 mark. I know that. I want to say it's probably around 24. I don't know. I'd have to look again. But this is a really cool piece. I'm really looking forward to doing some videos with this. So congratulations on your new piece of gear. You're going to love that thing. That Empress EQ is something else. And for the money, it's unbelievable. It's like, I don't know what you paid for yours. I don't know if prices have gone up, but when I bought mine, it was like, I want to say it was like $1,800 brand new from Vintage King, as you bought it from. 18 or 1900. It was under the $2,000 mark. Maybe with tax, it was over $2,000. But that's a really good piece, man. Good for you. Dave's putting all the coupon codes and all the websites in the chat. Thank you, Dave. So go ahead and click on those. Open up another browser. Get your deals today before the deals go away. Almost kind of rhymes, right? Hey, Ruben N, how are you? What mic am I using? I am using the Lewitt Audio Ray mic. How's the sound? The sound okay? Over YouTube, sometimes it doesn't sound great. I bought this primarily for when I'm doing all the content and all the courses here. And I like this a lot because it's got a really nice tone to it. It just works really good with voiceover. At least with my voice, it does. It really doesn't need any processing, and it sounds really great. And the other thing I really like about it, it's one of the only mics that I've seen where it's got a built-in mute button. I can just mute it right here at the microphone if I wanted to turn the microphone off, which is kind of cool. And also the Ray mic, you can set it up, which I didn't, but you can. They have an auto mute where you can set the distance from you to the microphone. And when you stop talking, if you're a certain distance away, it'll mute itself automatically, which is kind of cool. I don't use that feature. I just use I'm kind of old school. I like hitting the little button. But anyway, it's a great mic. And I also like it because it's kind of low profile. And when you're on camera, it's not like too big and in my face. And that's why I kind of use it. So that's what I'm using. And it's affordable. I think this mic was, I don't know, $500 maybe? Somewhere in that ballpark. Pretty good. Pretty good. So that's what I'm using. That's what I'm using. Okay, let's see. What else I want to tell you? Okay, so let's talk, and I'll get to some more questions. So type. Okay, so let's talk about, for the Mixing Music Analog fans, let's talk about the new gears. We talked about the Governor, right? We're going to be doing some videos on that. We also got this cool piece. I told you about this last month or the month before. This is by RSE Audio. This is a stereo Verimute compressor, which again, I played with this for maybe 20 minutes the other day. Man, this thing sounds really good. This thing sounds really good. I can't wait for you guys to hear this. Stereo Verimute, really, really nice RSE audio. So we got these 2 videos to do. Coming sometime mid-December, you'll see those videos. Dave and I are going to film them, and then they're going to come out within a couple of weeks. The other piece of gear we have coming, I think it was just shipped to me the other day. It's going to take a little bit to get here, but there's this company called Zombie Pro Audio, and they make a product called the Mammoth. I think is how you pronounce it, Mammoth. It's a low-end shaping unit. It's a stereo low-end shaping unit. If you check out, just Google Zombie Pro Audio and go check this thing out, man. This thing looks killer. They reached out to me not too long ago, wanted me to take a look at their stuff. I never even heard of the company, never even heard of this thing, but I went to the website, checked out the unit, thing looks killer. And then lo and behold, I did a little bit of research because I wanted to learn more about it. And David over at Mixbus TV actually did a video on it, which I thought was really cool. So I watched his video on it and I was like, oh, this thing is, what a cool piece of gear it looks like, and something very unique. It's not just a straight up compressor thing. It's really only to focus on the low ends. So I'm really interested to get that and check that out. That should be here, I hope, sometime in the early December. So we'll get some videos. We'll check that out. We'll get some videos done for that. That'll come out sometime, maybe the beginning of next year. So that's coming in. We have the AudioScape MK609, the 33609 coming. That probably won't be here till mid-December, but it is coming for sure. I've already got my my ticket in and my deposit for the Fair Comp, their Fairchild 670. I'm actually going to purchase that from them. And so I want to make sure I'm one of the first ones to get one. So I've already got my deposit in, and I'm going to get in line and I'm going to get one of those. And that's something that we're going to do a bunch of videos on as well. But that one I'm paying for. I insisted on paying for it because I want to support AudioScape. They've been very good to me over the last 2 years here. I would say at least half of the gear that's here from them, we exchanged videos for gear. I bought some stuff. They sent me more stuff than I bought. They've been awesome. I love AudioScape. Those guys are great. And so I wanted to buy this one. I felt like I want to support them. They're great guys. So I'm buying the Fair Comp. I don't know when it's coming. I don't even know if they're selling them yet. I just know that I'm one of the first ones in line. I got my deposit and my ticket down. I don't even know that they're taking deposits for it officially, but I was able to do that because they know we want to do a bunch of videos, and we're going to do several videos on that one, because that one's going to be really popular. So that's coming too. So we got some gear coming. We got gear here. We got gear coming in. It's going to be a lot of fun making some videos. Let's see. Let me answer some more questions and I'll tell you about some more stuff. Pedro wants to know if I've seen the new 1176 stereo from Warm Audio. I did see it. I just saw it on YouTube the other day. It just came out, right? I don't even know if they're available to purchase yet. They're probably just coming out, maybe. I think they have a stereo. I think they got two of them, don't they? They got one for the black panel, which is the D version, and then they got one with the, looks like the blue stripe. Is that right? Anybody know? I think there's two versions of that. That looks cool. That looks really cool. I'm sure they're going to be great. I don't know how much are those going to be, like $1,300 maybe. I don't know, but I've seen it. I have no contact or anybody to get a piece of that gear in here, and I'm not going to buy that to do a test. But it looks cool. Warm Audio's been putting out a lot of stuff recently, so that's really cool. Hey, Paul, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Hey, Aaron, we just talked about that, the new WA76. I have no thoughts on it other than Warm Audio's putting out a lot of stuff. I only own one piece of Warm Audio. You might not be able to see, you can't see it on camera, but it's way up above where I'm pointing. I have the CL1 or the WA1B, the CL, the 2-Tech clone. And I got to tell you, I really like that one. That one's really great. I bought it with my own money. I could have sent it back, but I got to tell you, I like it. I've already did a video on it. It's on the channel. It actually surprised me. It's actually the first piece of Warm Audio gear I've ever tried that I liked. Not that I've tried a lot of their stuff, but I have tried some of their stuff in the past. We've talked about that on the channel before. And I'm not a huge fan of their stuff. At least I wasn't in the past. But this piece was really great. So I don't know if they've just gotten better, you know, at their quality of build or whatever, or maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to hear what people think about the WA76. I'm sure it'll be decent. I'm sure they'll sell it. I'm sure they will sell a ton of them. Hey, Michael. Yeah, the new stereo Warm Audio looks cool. I want to see more of them in the wild before I make my mind up on them. Yeah. I'm sure it'll sound good. The issue will be, if there is any, will be the build quality and the reliability, because that's always been their kind of thing. But, you know, they might have corrected that. I mean, that's going back a while. I haven't heard in any recent times, at least. I have lots of students that use warm audio, lots of them. And so I would say way more of my students that use warm audio like it than dislike it. I've heard less and less about the quality issue stuff in recent times. So hopefully that's a thing of the past. That would be great if it is, because that was the one issue that I really had with them, the biggest one. So yeah, so that would be great. If they're making great stuff and the quality's there, that's great, because they do make stuff at really reasonable prices. All right, let me get down here. Let me scroll. Hello, Trenton's here. Hey, Trenton, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Hey, Nautica, any new updates on the board that you are currently using? Why did you stop using the PreSonus 32X? I still have mine and love it. Oh, well, no new updates on this console. The PreSonus, that's a StudioLive, that's a digital mixer, which is great, by the way. That's not even in the same hemisphere as something like an SSL. Totally different product, not meant to compete with something like this. I'll tell you why I stopped using it when I had it. As far as a live mixer, you know, mixing live in a club or whatever, the PreSonus digital boards are the best ones on the market, in my opinion. I know there's other ones out there now, and honestly, I haven't used them all. PreSonus was one of the first ones. Those StudioLives are one of the first ones when they came out many years ago, and I've had all the revisions of them. But I know QSC makes them now, Allen and Heath makes them, Behringer makes them, Midas there's other companies, and I'm sure they're fantastic too. For a live board, it's great. In the studio, if you were recording and you needed an interface with a ton of inputs, it's great too. When I bought mine, I primarily bought it at that time because they were the first mixer that I knew of at the time, full mixer that did DAW control. And actually, when the 32SX, when the StudioLive Series 3 first came out and I first got mine, it didn't even have the DAW control feature working. There was a button on the console, but the feature wasn't released yet in the software, you know. And then they eventually did. And what I came to find out is it's very clunky as a DAW controller, at least in my opinion. I was hoping it was going to feel more like an analog desk, and it doesn't feel anything like that. Now, I didn't know that at the time until I got an SSL, and then I realized it's not even close to mixing on a real SSL or on a real console, an analog desk. So the product just didn't fit into my workflow. That's all. It's not that it was a bad product. It's going on, I don't know how many years that the current version has been out. It needs a refresh. I know that. I know it. When you look at that thing and you look at that ridiculous touchscreen that's on there now, compared to the new products that are out with those nice, beautiful touchscreens, it really needs to be updated, in my opinion. But depending on what you're using it for, it's a great mixer. It just didn't fit into what I was doing. No updates on this console. It's stock just the way it came. There's really no mods or anything to do. I've had it now over 3 years, or going on 3 years. Not really sure. Yeah, it's close to 3 years. Knock on wood. Never had a single issue with it. Thing runs and looks as good as it did the day I bought it and brought it in here. And I love it. I love it. Once you mix like this, it would be very challenging to go to mix any other way. It really would be, at least for me. But I'm glad you like your SX, your 32SX. It is a great product. Yeah, I love it. I just said that, Braxel. I have it. I use it. I like it. I like it. You know, kudos to Warm Audio. Like I said, I like we've talked about, I'm not a big fan of theirs, generally speaking. But you know, like we always talk about here, I speak the truth here. I don't try to sell you crap. I just tell you what I really think. That is a good compressor. That CL1B knockoff is something else. Now, is it as good as a real CL1B? I don't know. A real CL1B is $3,500 to $4,500. There are some guys on YouTube that done the comparisons, and you know how that goes. I mean, we've done that here, and you get some people that take it with a grain of salt and just try to use it as a guideline, and you get other people that just will pick it apart and everything you do in the video is no good. You can't make everybody happy most of the time. So I will say it's really good. It's really good. I always wanted to try a CL1B. It's too far out of my price range to buy a real one. And I love that thing on vocals. Where it really surprised me with the most, if you looked at the video that I did, was the snare drum. I couldn't believe how great it sounded on snare. I was shocked by that. Go watch the video. I couldn't believe it. I use it every mix. Usually on, well, it's either snare or vocals. That's where I tend to use it the most. I haven't really took it around the block and tried it on a bunch of stuff yet, but those two things I really like it. And for the money, you can't beat it. And I think it's one of their more expensive units. Not that that means anything, but it's not for people that want to know, it's not a $499 1176 that they make. It's a $1,300 or $1,400. I mean, it's an expensive unit. And it's built really well. I said that in the video. I was really pleasantly surprised. I did not think I was going to like it, and I thought it was going to go back in the box. I got to be honest. But I like it. Now, whether it stands the test of time in a year from now, am I going to have it repaired a half a dozen times? I don't know. Let's hope not. I've been checking all the lives for months. Love all of it. First time on the chat. Welcome, Bruno. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're checking out the channel. I appreciate you, brother. Are you still a heavy PreSonus user? A heavy meaning I use the DAW. Studio One 7 I use. I've been using Studio One since version 1.5, I think it was, or 1.6. I've been using it since, I forget what year, when I just redid the PreSonus, the 2 PreSonus courses that I have on my website. When version 7 came out in October, I redid 2 of the 3 courses, the Beginner's Guide and the Mixing in Studio One course. I think in the Beginner's Guide is the course where I was showing you, if you're new, I was showing people how to download all the additional software. When you install Studio One, you have to go to their website and download a bunch of additional stuff to get all the loop libraries, all the instruments and such. Anyway, I was showing that in the course. And when I looked at my account, I think I've been a user since 2010. So I've been using it for 14 years and I love it. To me, and I have all of them, well, you can't see on my screen, but in my dock, I have Cubase 13 Pro, Luna, Pro Tools, Ableton Live, Logic. I think that's it. And Studio One. And Studio One to me is still, at all of them, and they're all great, right? You got what you like, and whatever you like, it's awesome. It works as long, they all do the same thing. But for me, it's the most intuitive, especially for new people that are learning this stuff. I feel like it's the most intuitive. It's certainly the most stable DAW I've ever used by a long shot. And I tell all my beginner students and people that are new to digital recording, when they ask me what DAW to buy, I tell them Studio One. And really the main reason is you have such a large online community of help and support for newbies and beginners, more so than any other DAW that I've ever seen. And so there's a lot more resources. So I love Studio One, and I pay for my subscription. They don't give it to me for free. I used to have a real inside line to a lot of people there at PreSonus and did a lot of great work with them over the years. But when they got bought out by Fender, all the people that I know there or knew there all had moved on to other companies and other jobs. And so I really have no inside knowledge to what happens in PreSonus anymore. But I still use Studio One. I still think it's great. Still think it's great. So yeah, I use it every single day. The Governor is on sale from Vintage King from 28 to 24. Oh, this is 2,800 bucks? Really? I didn't think it was that much. I thought it was like 2,400. So I can't, it's on sale. I haven't used it enough yet to tell you if someone wanted to know, hey Dave, it's on sale during Black Friday, it's the Empress EQ, would you buy it? I'd say you don't even have to hear it, go buy it. Because I've been using it for almost 2 years and it's everything that I'm telling you that it is. I haven't used this thing enough to know yet. My guess is, if you want to take a shot, this thing is probably amazing. but I can't tell you that for certain yet. Can't tell you that for certain yet. But if it's anything like that Empress EQ, as far as build quality, sound quality, functionality, I know it's a compressor, not an EQ. That's a good price. That's a good price. Anything under $3 grand for this thing would be worth it. But I can't tell you for certain. But the videos are coming, don't you worry. But thanks for the info, Braxel. That's great. Vintage King has got some sales. It's awesome. Love the Lewitt mics. Great to hear that the Ray is a good one. It is. My first experience with Lewitt. I've heard of them. I'm sure they make, I would assume they make really good stuff. But it's my first experience with it and I like it. And again, the only reason why I chose it primarily was the mute switch. As stupid as that sounds. It's one of the only condenser microphones you can find on the market as a mute switch on it. Believe me, I looked. And low profile, doesn't look too, it doesn't look too big in the frame. And it's got a really nice shock mount that's small and low profile. That was the other thing too. Like when I was using my Roswell Audio for a while, my U87, which is a great microphone, by the way. It's twice as big. It's got this huge shock mount on it, and I didn't like the way it looked on video. This looks much better on video. At least I think it does. So yeah, it's a great, and for the money, again, this was, I think it's, again, I'm sure Braxton will look it up, or one of you guys will look it up online, but I think it's less than 500 bucks. And what I really like about it is when I go to edit my videos and I do, my voice, I have to put very little processing, almost none, to be honest. The only processing that I honestly put on my voice in any of the videos that you hear since I've had this is I will use a little bit of the Isotope RX. They have a plugin called Dialogue Isolate, which will allow me to remove some of the reverb, some of the slap I get off the console, right? Because my voice comes off the console and you get a little bit of that room sound that I don't like. So with a little touch of that, I can make it sound more like a dynamic mic, which is what I like. And that's it. Sometimes I may pull out a little 180 EQ-wise, that just to put a touch out. But aside from that, what you're hearing on the videos is pretty much the mic itself. That's it. So for the money, I thought, wow. When I was using the Roswell, as much as I like that one, by the way, it is a great mic, but I had to do a lot more treatment to my vocals in post-production, a lot more. A lot more compression, a lot more EQ. Great mic, I can get it to sound really good, but it took a lot of work. This one, no work at all. And when you make the amount of videos that I make, because you guys only see the YouTube stuff, but if you knew all the training courses I make, all the stuff that I do every day making videos, and I make literally hundreds and hundreds of videos a year, literally, it's got to be quick. So I like the fact that this is just plug and play. I throw it up. I throw a little bit of deverb on it, for lack of a better word, to get some of the console slap out, and I'm good to go. So yeah, for the money, I don't think you can beat it. Mark says $19.50 for the Empress this week. It was $23.50 at regular price. I also received you got the stamp 76. Good. I'm glad I was able to help you with that. When you sent me that email, Mark, I sent Josh, so I tickled him a little bit when I got your email about your order on the 76. I'm glad it showed up. I was glad to be able to step in and help because I told him, hey man, one of my guys went out and bought your stuff because I told him your stuff is great. And his stuff is great, by the way. You gotta get back to this cat. And I know he wrote you an email back the same day because he copied me on it. So anytime you guys have a problem like that, you guys let me know and I'll try to step in where I can help you. And so good. Let me know how you like the 76A Plus. I'm sure it's great. But yeah, $19.50 for that Empress EQ, man. If you're looking for a cool stereo tube EQ, that Empress EQ for less than $2 is worth every single penny. It's not even close. I don't know of any other stereo EQ at that price point that would be any better than that. I really don't. It's a tube EQ. It's kind of the Pultec style for people that want to know. but it has a few other features. It's like I don't know what you think, Mark, but to me, I've always kind of said it sounds like a modern style Pultec, like, you know, the Stam Audio Pultec, the stereo one that we have here. That's the classic, you know, balls to the wall Pultec, vintage-ish. The Empress is that, but it sounds more modern to me. I know that's kind of weird, but that's how it is. But yeah, I don't know of another stereo hardware EQ, especially a tube one, that's anywhere near that price point. There may be something out there. I don't know of anything. So if you're looking for a hardware stereo EQ, and I don't get anything, I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get you know, kickbacks or anything. I'm not affiliated with Vintage King, and there are no affiliate links or anything like that. So I'm just telling you, that's a fantastic unit for the money. Oh yeah, Dave said I got the link for the zombie audio. The Mammoth. It's a weird name. I don't know what the hell Mammoth means, but it's cool. I can't wait to try that thing, man. Can't wait to try it. Okay, what else do we got here on my list? And then we'll get to more questions. Type those questions in. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the super chat. Support Uncle Dave here. Okay, what else I got to tell you? Okay, for the Home Recording Made Easy audience, we've been talking about gear. So for all you people over at Home Recording Made Easy that buy all the training courses, in 2025, you are going to see systematically over the course of the whole year, every one of those courses on the website, with the exception of the mixing hybrid stuff. There'll be more of those, but those are going to stay. But all the other Made Easy courses, both beginner, intermediate, advanced, are all going to be rebuilt from the ground up. They're going to be replaced. All the courses that you see there, EQ, mix, EQ compression, parallel compression, mastering Made Easy, mixing Made Easy volume 1, 2, 3, 4, mixing with analog style plugins. I think there's more, but those are the only ones I can think of. All of those were originally were built and released in 2019, 2020. That's when they were done. 5 years later, I want to upgrade them. I want to put more content into them. I want them to have better songs. I want to be able to present. I know I can present them in a better way because I'm getting better at this stuff every year. So all of those courses are going to be rebuilt from the ground up, one at a time. I've already just finished the second one yesterday. Mixing Made Easy Volume 2 Advanced. Just got to rebuild. It'll come out in February. Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 was already done. It comes out in January. Anyone that has the current courses, the current ones from 2020, you'll get an email with a big discount coupon if you want to upgrade. If you don't want to upgrade, you don't have to. But if you want to upgrade, I'm going to give it to you probably at 50 or 60% off for all the people who bought the first ones. And so all the courses are going to get rebuilt, all of them. They're going to be bigger and badder than they were before. So that's coming for all the Home Recording Made Easy folks in 2025. What else for the 2025? And 3 brand new courses. One might come out in December. There will be a songwriting and production, actually 3 of them, course that'll come out. There are going to be 3 volumes, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. I think I talked about this in the last live stream. Those will be coming out in 2025. Volume 1 might come out before the end of the year, if not the beginning of January. Then in Q3 and probably Q4 of next year, there'll be songwriting and production. It's really a Studio One course, but it will really pertain to any DAW because a lot of the stuff is very, not very DAW specific, but because we're doing it in Studio One and going to be using some of their cool production and songwriting tools that are unique to Studio One 7, not that other DAWs don't have similar features. It'll be marketed and sold as a Studio One course, but you'll be able to use it anywhere. Anyway, it's going to be writing a song from absolute scratch, coming up with an idea, writing a song, recording a song, then mixing the song, mastering the song, Volume 1. Volume 2, and it'll be a very stripped down, basic, very simple song. Volume 2 will pick up right where Volume 1 left off on the same song. but we'll be adding different sections to it, and we'll be building up the production value. And then we will mix it again. The first time we'll mix it just using stock plugins. The second volume we'll mix it using third-party plugins. And then volume 3, again, we'll pick up right where volume 2 left off. Same song we're all working on, but this time we're going to really build up the production and make a fully flushed out song where we're going to get away from program drums. We're going to get a real drummer for acoustic drums. We're going to take any of the VST instruments that we might have played in volume 1 and volume 2 and replace those with real acoustic instruments. And then we're going to mix that whole song and master it all analog. So those 3 courses are coming next year. For all the home recording easy folks have been asking me to do songwriting stuff and production stuff. It is coming in 2025. And if you want to ask any questions about that stuff, feel free in the chat. Let's get back to the chat. You love your 609. We got one coming. Oh, you know what, Braxel? Does that have the old metal knobs on it, like the old school one? Or is that the plastic knobs? Not that it matters. I'm just curious. But mine will be coming soon. I'm glad you like it. I can't wait to try that one myself. Michael says, yes, that's right. The black and blue stripe. Oh, you must be talking about the Warm Audio, right? So they did the black stereo and then they did the blue stripe. That's awesome. That's awesome. Take care, Mark. Have a good one. See you later. Hey, Mike, what's up? Peace Valley Audio. Good to see you, my friend. Happy holidays to you. Yes, all courses 60% off now. Go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Use your coupon. Would you save 60? Take 60%. It's the largest sale of the year. I don't sell them this cheap ever. So if you want them, go get them. Especially if you wanted to buy some of the more premium courses that are more expensive and it was outside of your budget when they came out. Here's an opportunity to get those at a great deal. You have Cubase 14 Pro. Yeah, 14 just came out. I didn't upgrade it because I don't even use 13. I always say I'm going to use it and I don't use it. It's not that it's not a wonderful DAW. Cubase is awesome. I've used it in the past. I know it's awesome. I just, it's like anything else. You find the DAW that works for you and you just work with it. And for me, that's Studio One, and for you, that's Cubase. But yeah, I know it just came out, Cubase 14. It's very Studio One-esque, or I should say Studio One is very Cubase-like. Been using PreSonus Studio One since version 2.5. Love it. I found home recording made easy because of it. There you go. Been using it for 10 years, still on version 6. Cool, man. Yeah, you really don't need to go to version 7. Unless you are really, really, really heavy into the songwriting production thing, into really all the advanced features. There are some new cool things in 7 that will help those folks. But I would say probably 80% of the people that use any DAW for that matter. I would even be willing to bet it's 90% of the people that use these digital audio workstations don't even use 10% of what the thing is really capable of doing. And so if you're one of those people, you really don't need to upgrade to version 7. You don't. It's great. It's nice. But there's nothing, earth-shattering about version 7 from version 6. And like I said, there's a few cool little niceties and a couple of cool creature comforts. And they did things like integrated Splice, the audio library with it. So if you're a Splice user, that's really cool. And they added things like a stem separator. That's kind of cool, but that's not revolutionary. But it's built into the DAW now. That's kind of nice. And they did add, if you're into using Ableton Live for like playing live to tracks, even though Studio One in version 5, I think they came out with the show page. Now they have a clip launcher. They basically took the clip launching idea from Ableton and built it into Studio One 7. So if you're into that, then I'd say upgrade. That's kind of cool. I'm not into any of those things. So for me, I only have it because I need to teach the latest version for people that are buying the training. And I'm on the subscription too. So I get it for, as part of my subscription, I get the free upgrades. So those are the main differences, which is why I never did a video for YouTube. There were so many people that did it. There was no reason for me to do it because I wasn't that excited about Studio 17. It's cool. It does run a little bit more snappy on the system. At least it seems like for me. It responds a little bit quicker, but that's all. West Audio NG Bus Comp and SSL Bus Plus is on sale, $500 off. NG Bus Compressor is great, man. That's another piece that's never leaving this studio. The West Audio stuff that thing is spectacular. $500 off. So what's the price of that? $2,500 then, Braxel? I think they're $3,000, right? Isn't it $3,000? The NG bus, something like that. Oh, and the SSL Bus Plus, that's cool. I know people that have that love it. I've never tried it. I'm sure it's great. I mean, it's SSL. How could it not be? How could it not be good? How could it not be good? Robert said he's been using Studio One since 2014. You just got Luna, trying to figure it out. Luna's nice. I mean, I like Luna too. I've always said that Luna, what I like about Luna, I know it's a Windows base now, but I've heard there's a lot of quirky things with it with Windows. I don't know if they fixed that. With the Mac, it's pretty stable. What I really like about Luna, it's got a very clean, if you're into the analog thing and you like that kind of analog channel strip kind of a vibe, it's great. And what I like about it is when you just look at the interface, it's so much cleaner looking as far as, you know, the one thing about Cubase, Studio One, and all the other ones that are out, you know, there are so many things it can do. There are buttons and icons all over the place. If you don't know the thing inside and out, you're not a power user, you could spend hours trying to figure out how to do a simple thing. There's everything you right click on has, you know, a laundry list of submenus and actions and shortcuts, and that's all great. But it could be overwhelming, especially for someone who's new. What I found about Luna is it strips away a lot of that stuff, and it really only gives you the basic stuff that most people need. Remember I said a few seconds ago, most people don't even use they barely use 10% of what the DAW is capable of. Half the people that use these DAWs don't even know about what it can even do. And so Luna is a nice option in that it's clean, it's easy to navigate. There's not a lot of bloated features. They're adding new things all the time. I know there's a few things that some people were unhappy about when it came to VSTs and MIDI and that kind of stuff, but I think they're now starting to slowly add some of that stuff. But Luna, all in all, I think is a nice DAW. I like it. I don't use it a lot, but I like it. So, yeah, you'll figure it out. If you could figure out Studio One, you could figure out Luna. As a matter of fact, Robert, if you haven't done so already, I think I have a 4-video part series on home recording made easy with Luna, showing you the very basics and how to poke around. It's about a year or two old, but it's still very, very relevant. It'll help you. It's like a beginner's guide to Luna, all on YouTube, absolutely free. Yeah. Actually, West Audio has several items on sale. It's great. They make great stuff, man. Great stuff. Opinions on the CLA Audio. CLA Audio, what's that? Chris Lord Algae Audio? Oh, CLA, are you talking about like his plugin line with Waves, his signature plugins, the CLA? What is your favorite type? Also, the Writer series, bass writer, vocal writer, would you recommend it to someone beginning for mixing with clients? Waves makes some great stuff. I own everything that you just mentioned. So vocal writer is really cool. It's not 100%, but it's pretty good. Bass writer I haven't really used much, but I'm sure it's great. The CLA plugins are great. I mean, they are. They're really good. They're really good. What I recommend to someone who's beginning in audio mixing for clients, sure. I mean, if you can get the sound you want out of them, the only thing I would tell a beginner who's trying to learn mixing, whether it's for yourself, clients, or otherwise, the thing about the Wave CLA stuff, at least if you're talking about like the CLA drums, CLA guitar, where it's all kind of preset based, they're cool. But if you're learning how to mix, if you really want to learn how to mix, I would encourage you to not mix with presets. That's a great starting point. But a lot of beginners end up using those as crutches. And because not every preset works for every source material, it just doesn't. And so you really want to learn the basic fundamentals of mixing. And if you want to learn that, Nautica, homerecordingmadeeasy.com has every course you will ever need on that. And you'll never have to mix with a preset again or a simplistic plugin because you don't know the fundamentals of EQ and compression and all of that. So I think they're great plugins. They're great for someone who's beginning as a mixer. But if you're using those plugins because you can just, turn it to a knob and there's a preset to make it sound great, great to start with, no problem. If you like the way it sounds, right on. But if you're serious about mixing and you're saying for clients, like if you really want to be a mixer and make money at this, don't mix that way. Learn how to mix. And I can help you at Home Recording Made Easy. And by golly, this week is 60% off at the Black Friday sale. So if you're a beginner mixer, here's what you go buy. Anyone that's listening to my voice, here's what you go buy at 60% off. EQ Made Easy, Compression Made Easy, start with Mixing Made Easy Volume 1. If you're a Studio One user, replace Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 with Mixing in Studio One Made Easy. If you're a Studio One user, if you're any other DAW user, stick with Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 and watch them in that order. EQ first, compression second, the mixing course third. Those are the 3 basic courses that you need to start your journey in mixing. And then I can take you on a whole journey to get wherever you want to go. That's what I would do. But those plugins are good. Mammoth plus mammoth in German. Dave's over there doing some research. Okay. I didn't know what mammoth means, but it means mammoth. Got it. Now it makes a little more sense to me. Studio Geo. Got myself the West Audio NG2BQ to complement your bus comp. Digitally recordable hardware is the future. That 2BQ, man, looks absolutely amazing. It's so expensive. It's twice the price of that NG bus compressor. But I did talk to West Audio. I did meet with them. There may be one of those NG tubes showing up here for some demos. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep it. I'll have to buy it. That's a lot of money, $6,000. But that is a killer master bus, man. That's a killer chain. The bus compressor with that EQ, totally digitally recallable, man. That's killer. Good for you. Good for you. New production courses seem, they're going to be fun, man. They're going to be fun. And the thing is, I'm teaming up with producer, singer, songwriter, and musician extraordinaire Brandon Van Allen on that, because he's a way better producer, singer, and songwriter than I am. Way better. So we're doing it in tandem. He's going to be doing the recording and the songwriting piece to show you how he writes his songs, and I'm going to be doing everything post, mix, mastering, release, all of that. And this is going to be very unique. We've searched around looking for these kinds of courses, see what else is on the market, and there's nothing that we've seen. There's even nothing on YouTube that we've seen. I mean, there's a couple of videos here and there, but not a full course on really breaking down the songwriting process from a guy that writes lots of great songs and a producer, really getting inside their head on how they come up with their ideas, not just plugging in the guitar or whatever, and here's how you record and set the levels. No, it's not that kind of a course. This is really songwriting 101. And then over the course of the 3 volumes, the production end of it. How do you take a 3-chord demo on an acoustic guitar that's really just a demo guitar vocal, and how do you turn that into a full-scale production? That's what this 3-volume series will be. And I think it's going to be super unique. And if you're into songwriting and you want to learn how to write songs, or if you're someone who has ideas but doesn't know where to start as far as writing songs, or can't finish a song and all of that, I think you're really going to love this course, because that's something that we're focusing very heavily on. not just the mechanics on how you do it and how you get good recording levels, all that, yeah, but we're talking about the songwriting process and getting in the side of the head of a producer and a multi-instrumentalist, which Brandon is. So I think you're really gonna like this. I'm real excited to see it and to work on it. And we're gonna show how you know, again, because we're remote, we don't live in the same state. He lives in Texas, I live on the East Coast. So how do you share files back and forth with an artist and a mixer or an engineer, right? All that, the whole thing, we're going to show how we do file sharing. If you're using Studio One, they have their whole cloud thing, how you share with the cloud if you happen to be a Studio One user. If not, how do you prep files to send off to an engineer? How do you send them? What's the proper way to send them? What's the proper way to prep a session? I mean, we're talking about all that stuff. You don't see that anywhere. You don't see that. So we're talking about all of that. So you can see the whole process. And over the course of the 3 courses, what it's going to be really great is they're building blocks. So at the end of the first course, we're going to have a song, but it's kind of a stripped down basic song. And then when you get volume 2, you're going to be able to take that same session that you were working on and how do we build from there? And so it'll be cool. At least that's the plan, man. Yes, they're metal knobs, but they kind of feel like plastic. Oh, I did not want to play with it because the knobs are very stiff. I'm afraid to break them. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to let you know what my experience is when I get mine. That's interesting. Hi, Mike. How are you? True that, David. I have the most popular DAWs paid for, finding myself switching back and forth. Yeah. I don't really bounce back and forth between DAWs anymore. I'm too busy. I'm so accustomed to Studio One now that I just can't see. Every time I think it'd be cool to try something different, I do for a little while, and then I just find it slows me down. I just don't have the time. But whatever DAW you have, they're great. If you have a DAW you like and you're efficient at it, you really have no reason to switch. But they all do the same thing. They're all great. Most of what I do is MIDI orchestra hybrid cinematic productions. Ooh. I don't really need all that new V7 features. Yeah, if you don't need them, don't upgrade. If it was something, if 7 was really better than 6, even from a performance point of view, like if it was really better, I would tell you, go get it just because it's better performance. It is a little bit, but nah, not really. Not really. It was kind of, I gotta be honest, and well, again, I say this, but I said this, I think, in the last live stream, maybe, when we were talking about this a little bit. I was saying 7 was really underwhelming of an upgrade for me. I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. It's kind of like, PreSonus was hyping it like companies do. They hype their stuff, and it was like, no big deal. But then again, I don't know what I would ask PreSonus to put into Studio One that's not already there. Like, what else could they possibly do to make it some massive upgrade? I don't know what that would be. I'm sure there's a couple of features maybe here and there that people would want. But I mean, generally speaking, as I said earlier, it does so much. Most people don't even use a fraction of what it's capable of doing. I don't know what else you'd put in there. I really don't. So if they came out with Studio One version 8, and if they said, Dave, we'll put everything you want in version 8, what do you want? I couldn't even tell you what I would really want. I'd probably tell you eliminate half the crap that most people don't use. Clean up the interface. So I don't know. I guess you can window dress the GUI a little bit, make it a little bit more modern looking or whatever. But I mean, again, I don't know. So I can't really fault them because I think they got such a good product. I don't know how you improve on it. Here's what I would tell them that they need to do. Here, I got it now. Hey, we're talking out loud. I'm thinking about it. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. I think they need to do a better job with some of their plugins. Their reverbs and delays kind of suck. Although their new Open Air 2 is pretty good, but the rest of them are terrible, in my opinion. So I would say, get some really good reverbs and delays in there, so people don't have to go out and buy third-party reverbs and delays. If they could do something like that. They're analog style plugins that they have, and they have lots of them, more than any other DAW that I'm aware of. I mean, they have all the Pultecs and SSLs and all them. Most of those are kind of I would go back and have those remodeled and have those done as a better job. I've done some of those videos on YouTube. You've seen me do the Pultecs and the Fairchilds and stuff. And the studio ones always are at the bottom of the list. When you compare them to IK Multimedia, Universal Audio, Waves, and all the other SSL and all the other ones. So I would tell them to improve on all those analog style plugins that they did a great job on. And there's a wide variety of stuff, but most of them don't sound very good, and they don't have good reverbs and delays, in my opinion. So I would say they need to do that. Also, I would tell them they need to have a tape machine. I think they used to have one in cahoots with Soft2, but I don't know if they have that anymore. They have all those vintage compressors, vintage EQs. I need a tape machine. So I think in Studio 1A, if it was me, and if I was making all the decisions there, I would work. They need to get better at they need to get a better plug-in pack. That's what I would tell them to do. For anybody that cares. Nobody cares. But if anyone from Studio One or PreSonus is watching, I know Johnny Lipsham, my buddy, he works there. He's a support tech there, or he does a bunch of stuff there, I think, for them. And I know he watches these things. So Johnny, get that into the team if you would. Get better at the plugins. Make it so we don't have to go out. That is one thing I will say about most DAWs. Most DAWs, their plugins, by and large, are not strong enough to compete with a lot of the third-party stuff that's out there. So if Studio One really wanted to step it up, make it so you don't have to go out and buy all the third-party stuff. Make your stuff as good as that stuff, because it's not. Not right now, it's not. There we go. Enough of that. I have a few mixes. I used the MK609 on the master. The flavor of compression is very nice. Yeah. It all depends on the mix. When you guys try it out on the master, yes, it sounds good on drum bus. Yeah, that's very, I would assume that's, I have the Stam Audio 609, as you know. And yeah, on drums, it sounds killer. I haven't tried it on a master bus yet. Have I tried it on a master bus? I don't think I did. I've used it on basically drums and parallel drums, and it sounds great. So I would assume that the Audioscape one would be great too. Yeah, Mike likes the clip one. Yeah, as I was saying, if you're into the Ableton Live clip thing, that Studio 1.7, you ought to get it just for that. If you're into that, that's cool. I don't use that, but that's cool. I know Broxel's got that Bus Plus, and I know you love that one, huh? Mike says that the Windows Luna's getting there. Okay, good. I'm not a Windows user, but yeah, I know when it first came out, everybody was freaking out. There was all kinds of problems with it. I'm hoping that it's getting there. It took them, 4 years to get it ready for Windows. So I'm glad that it's there. I think if they, again, I don't know what goes on at Universal Audio. The one thing that worries me about the whole Luna product is that when it first came out, Universal Audio, the company, was doing tons of videos on it. They were doing weekly live streams on it. They really put a lot of content creation into Luna. Over the last 2 years, almost nothing. All that resource that they put into promoting that Luna and showing people how to use it and getting people to try to switch, it's all gone. You don't see them putting out any content on Luna anymore. Occasionally a video might pop up. But I'm saying there was weekly live streams where they have 4 or 5 guys from the company showing you all the features. I mean, they were really pushing Luna hard, and then it just stopped. So it makes me wonder, I don't think they're going to abandon the product. I would hope not, but what happened? I mean, you guys are going balls to the wall, and you basically just cut it off, and it's been almost radio silence for 2 years. I hope that changes. Hey, John Doe. Hey, Dave, got here late. Whenever is next to you looks awesome. I have Luna on Windows, and it works fine for me. Awesome. Awesome. That's good. The NG bus looks great, but it's 3 rack spaces. Yeah, it is. So you went with the SSL. Both of them are great. Yeah, but the SSL is not digitally recallable. Right? Or is it? No, I don't think it is. That's the difference. That's the difference. Ditto here. I love my Cranborn HE2. Yeah, that's another one that looks really fun, man. That's another one that looks really fun. Hi, Mix Up. Hey, have you had a chance to check out the new West Audio Pandora? I have not. Multi-band compressor. I've seen it. You might be coming in late. I met with West Audio last week before. We talked about that unit. And we talked about the NG2 BQ. So maybe at one point that might show up here for a demo. I don't know. Thanks to you, I've learned a lot of basics of Luna. Awesome. Yeah, I have a video, like I was saying earlier, I have a 3 or 4 part video series on Luna on the Home Recording Made Easy channel. As a matter of fact, when it first came out, I did some videos on it. And I was telling people I didn't even think it was worth switching to Luna at the time. I did a video a couple of years later, changing my tune to some degree because a lot of things have been put into place, a lot of fixes. And then I did a 3 or 4 part video series on how to basically use Luna. It is an easy DAW to use. It really is. On the Mac side, it was super stable from what I never really had any issues there. Again, I know the Windows folks had some issues, but a couple of guys here tonight say that that's starting to change, which is great. So yeah, if anyone's into Luna, go to Home Recording Made Easy, the YouTube channel, and just search my channel for Luna. You'll see a bunch of videos on it. It's a saturator, the HE2. Yeah, but isn't it an EQ? Isn't it an EQ that has saturation circuits in it? I don't know. You have it. I don't. You would know better than me. Any thoughts on Mixbus 10? Not really. There were a few times over the years where they tried to get me to try to use Mixbus and demo it and tried it, and they gave it to me. And the thing about Mixbus I don't like was simple. The user interface on it, I think is horrible. I've said that every single version. I don't know if 10 is any different than 9. But when you put it on a screen, I don't care how big the screen is. You can't, everything is so unbelievably small and tiny. I just don't like, it just was such a pain in the ass to use. I just gave up on it, and I told them that. And they said, well, you know, when you want to have the whole analog console thing on there, this is what you sacrifice. And I was like, I don't know. Universal Audio Luna came up with the same kind of concept, and their interface doesn't look anything like yours. But I know what they were trying to do. I understand the concept. They're trying to really put a full analog desk on the screen. EQ, dynamics, the whole thing. And there's just not enough real estate. I just think, I just don't like the way it looks and the way it sits on a screen. And I tried putting it on a 55-inch. I'm sitting in front, you can't see it, but I'm sitting in front of a 55-inch television, an OLED, an LG OLED, you know, a $1,500 television, which has extreme detail and sharpness and crispness, and that DAW looks like hell on that. It looks like hell on my Apple 27-inch studio display. I just, again, I don't know how it sounds. Everyone says, oh, it sounds this and that and the other thing. Again, maybe it does. I couldn't get that far because I just couldn't. You have to you got to put your face up against the screens to see anything. So if Mixbus 10 is different and they fix that, I'd be willing to look at it because I'm all into, you all know, I'm all into the analog thing. So if you could put the analog thing on a screen and it's effective and it works well and the workflow looks good, I'm all on it. But the look of that thing and everything crammed on the screen, I could not take it. Could not take it. Have you seen the new Wolf Patch Pro? It's like Flock Audio, but way better. Yeah, it's way too expensive. Not sure why it's way better, but I did see it. Flock looks like it makes a great product too. They actually, last year they reached out to me. They wanted me to do it. They wanted to send me a Flock. But the problem is I need I would need 3. I think I would need at least 2 of their largest units, which is like 10 grand a piece. It would cost me like $25,000 to outfit this studio in Flock. That ain't happening. It seems awesome. I love the concept of not having the patch cables and the digitally be able to move things around. That seems really cool. Again, I know you have a whole thing with conversion in and out and all of that, but aside from that, just, it's too much money. And I'll be honest, and again, maybe someone could share a link if you found something that I haven't been able to see. I have yet to see anyone on YouTube or anybody advertise where they're using Flock audio in a studio of this size with this much hardware and a console. It's usually in smaller studios that don't use a console and have a limited amount of rack gear. So I don't see any. I'm sure there's someone out there that's put it in and loves it, but I wanted to see it in real practice. Like, does someone really, you know, what? There's a reason why everyone's still using the old plug patches, because they're inexpensive. Those Flock audios, and again, now maybe this Wolf Patch Pro, which again, I've seen it, but I don't know much about it. I really worry about if that thing goes down, your whole studio goes down. Where those patch bays are, you know, there's nothing to go down. You know, it's pretty simple. But yeah, you got to have all the patch cables. You got to run back and forth and patch stuff. And when you use a digital patch bay like Flock or like the Wolf Patch Pro, where you can audition pieces of gear just by drag and drop, that's killer. But in a system like this, I don't think it's practical. And I haven't seen anybody use it to show me that it could be practical. Not to mention, like I said, it would cost me a minimum of $20,000 to do this studio and that, which I'm not really willing to do. Hi, Ernest. Hey, Dave. Being a CLA is selling his mixing board. Do you think he's going to upgrade to the SSL Duality? I don't know. I've seen now, I see CLA has his own YouTube channel now, and he's selling a lot of gear. Along with, I don't know if he's selling his me. I know he is selling a console, but he has 2 SSLs. One of them he uses every day, and he has a second one. I don't know if he's selling his main one, or is he just selling that second one? I know in his second room, he put an Origin in his other room. They have an Origin as well in their B room. Maybe he is going to upgrade. The only I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's selling off all his gear. He's selling off a ton of stuff. You know, makes me wonder. I hope CLA's okay, and I hope he's just getting rid of, just trying to raise some cash. I hope he's, first thing when I started selling, he's selling off everything is, oh my God, is he retiring? Is he okay? Is he healthy? You know, I started to worry. What do you mean he's selling all his stuff? Or my guess would be, if he was going to sell and go to what he's going to, if he was going to go to something like a Duality, it's because of the Atmos thing. That would be the reason why. He maybe he's thinking about moving on from his old school SSL because he needs something more modern, because he's in the Dolby world and has to be. I don't know that for sure, but that would be my guess. Yeah, that's what Dave's saying. He's selling an older one. Again, I don't know but he's selling a lot of gear, Dave. He's selling a lot of hardware. He's selling a lot of stuff. And at super inflated prices, by the way, because it was CLAs. I don't know where in Texas he is. No idea. You'd have to reach out to him. He started a brokerage business, did he? Cool. Yeah, he has a lot of stuff, man. When I tried to switch to Cubase last year, I liked Cubase features, better articulation mapping, but really missed the ease of Studio One for mixing. Interesting. Interesting. When you get your 609, it weighs over 15 pounds. What? No way. Really? You're telling me that MK609 weighs over 15 pounds? That I would be shocked. That's cool, though. That's cool. Man, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like that'll be the heaviest piece that they make, except for maybe the Fair Comp when it comes out. I don't know. Ernest says he emailed Neve to see if they were going to make a 500 series in delay, just like they did with the Reverb. Oh, are they? I don't know. You'll have to let us know. I got a whole suite of Plug-in Alliance Mega Pack. Yeah, they got a cool bundle. I used to use their stuff. They got some good stuff. If you had to recommend a hardware compressor for MIDI epic cinematic drums, think trailer type music, what would you recommend? Style of music really doesn't matter. If you want a hardware compressor, how much money do you got? How much you want to spend? That's really what it comes down to. What do you want to spend? Because there's a lot of great hardware compressors out there, and I don't think MIDI epic cinematic drums, the style of music of what you're doing is irrelevant. Any real high quality piece of gear, no matter what you put through it. But if you want something that's going to be really, maybe have digital recall in it, you know, like the West Audio stuff is great because you know, it's like the plug-in, hardware plug-in thing. If you just want to set it and forget it in true hardware, it really depends how much money you want to spend. Oh, it does. It does. It's the same, right? It's a pain in the ass. Yeah. It's too bad. It's too bad because I know they've been around a long time. And I'm sure they're great guys over there. Yeah. Well, if they ever change it, maybe I'll look at it. The Unfair Child looks like they dropped the price on the $99. Oh, you're talking about the plug-in, the Unfair Child plug-in. I thought you meant the hardware. I don't know if it's worth it. I know they have a plug-in of it. I haven't tried it. I have so many Fairchild compressors. I'm not spending another $99 on another one. I'm just not. Now, if they want to send it to me to do a demo for YouTube for free, I'll do it, just like the Kit plug-in one. You know, so I'm not going to buy that one. You're right. There's so many are out there already. Is it going to be revolutionary any better than all the other ones that are out there? No, I wouldn't think it would be. May sound a little different. It's probably going to be modeled on his particular hardware, which I'm sure is great. But is it really going to be any better than the Kit one, or the Universal Audio one, or the Waves one, or all the other ones? Probably not. If you've already got another Fairchild plugin that you like, this one is not going to set the world on fire. I wouldn't think. The HE2 does not work like an EQ in the sense you would think. It's a harmonic EQ saturator. Oh, cool. It's badass once you have it. I'll bet you'll keep it. I don't know. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. Unless they're going to send it to me. You got to try it. No. I don't know how much that is, Braxel. It's probably way too much money. I don't know anyone who makes that. Cranborn, right? Cranborn Audio. No, if someone wants to send it to me, wants me to try it, I'd love to try it, but I'm not going to buy it. Do I really think it would be necessary? Oh, for a hardware compressor? Necessary? No. It'll change the flavor of your mix, but is it absolutely necessary? No. Not unless you're... The only way I would tell you, unless you're going to spend a good amount of money, I mean, and we're talking about $2,500 and up, unless you're going to spend that kind of money to get a real high quality piece like the Gain Lab or like, you know, the West Audio NG bus, unless you're willing to spend that kind of money, don't bother. I would, like, what I would tell you not to do, and again, I'm only speaking out of experience, you know, I don't have experience with this particular unit, but I wouldn't go out and say, oh, wow, Warm Audio just put out a stereo 1176 with that. Don't waste your money. I wouldn't. Not if you're doing everything in the box and you just want a hardware compressor. I would tell you, if you were going to buy something that's going to make a difference in hardware, buy something like the SSL Fusion or like the Neve Master Bus Transformer, but that's considerably more money. But buy something like the SSL Fusion. That will have a way bigger impact because it's got a little compressor and it's got a high frequency compressor. Whereas the Neve has a little bit more flexible compressor, has a saturator, has a stereo widener, has a transformer circuit. You know, if you were going to do something for the master bus, I would tell you to do that before you just went out and bought an inexpensive stereo bus compressor. I wouldn't do that. I'm sure some people would disagree with me, and that's cool. Everyone's got their own thing. But unless you're going to spend real money, don't do it. You're not going to gain enough to where it will be worth it. Wolf has no fans or heats like the Flock. Oh, okay. How does it have no heat? How does it not generate heat? It uses true relays. Okay. Doesn't Flock use that too? You know, I don't know. You probably, I know you like to research stuff, so you probably researched it more than I have. So that's cool though. But I know that Wolf was at NAMM or something, and I remember seeing it, and the guy told the price, and it was expensive. It was just as expensive, if not more than the Flock. Which means it won't work for me here. It's going to be too much money. What people do use the Flock in tandem with the normal patch bay? Watch Cult's video about gear. He explains how he uses it. Yeah, I don't really watch his videos. But yeah, I don't know why you would do that. Well, I guess if you were going to use the Flock for something like your master bus and you wanted to change out different chains, I guess that's cool. Honestly, I don't mind the patch bay. It doesn't bother me. So, you know, those things are just, if I was going to spend that kind of money, I would spend it somewhere else in my studio. That's not going to make enough of a difference for me personally. Not for me personally. But yeah, that's cool. Yep, that's right. He's not selling the console he actually uses. At least not yet, he's not. How do you know he's not going to sell it? You never know. The second console in the hallway. Mike likes Cult's videos. Excellent. Oh, you follow him all the time? Okay, you're talking about Cult. That's cool. Maybe $1,500. Don't waste your money. Keep your money. That's just my opinion. Some others may disagree. I would tell you don't. Maybe 1,500 means really 1,000. Believe me, I know, because I've used that term before. Maybe 1,500 means you'll be lucky if you can do 1,000, and your wife will kill you if you do more than that. That's what that means. That's what that code means, Mike. I know. I'm married. So I wouldn't spend $1,500 that way. It's not going to have enough of an impact on what you're doing. If you had $1,500 to spend in your studio without knowing all the details about your studio, there's probably a way better place we could spend that $1,500 to get better impact, not just running it through some piece of gear. When the box came out, it showed us 18 pounds. Ooh. Yeah, really? It's that heavy? Okay. Okay. Hey, Johnny's here. Well, you must have, hey, John, Johnny, your ears must have been burning because I was talking about you a few minutes ago, in a good way, of course. Talking about Studio 1.7, and some people are still on Studio 1.6, and I told them there was really no reason to upgrade to Studio 1.7 unless blah, 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 blah. And then I got through complimenting PreSonus saying that I don't even know what the hell I would tell you to put in Studio 1.8 if there's ever going to be a Studio 1.8, because you guys got everything in Studio 1.7. And then I thought about it. You can go back and watch the replay if you weren't listening before. I said, yeah, you guys can, PreSonus can really do an upgrade on some of their plugins. That's what I would, if the PreSonus gods came to my studio and said, I will put whatever you want into Studio One version, whatever, what would it be? I'd say, get me a good reverb and delay, because the reverbs and delay in Studio One are not any good in my opinion, except I will say that new Open Air 2 is pretty cool. The first one's terrible. The delays are not any good in my opinion. And I love the fact that PreSonus did all the vintage style plugins, the Pultec 1176, blah, 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 but they're not, some of them and a lot of them are not that great. I know they can be done better. If they were going to do anything to try to increase the quality of Studio One, because it's already a home run in my opinion. I always say that. But if it was me, I would have someone go over those plugins again and do them right. Do them right. But how are you, Johnny? Good to see you. Happy holidays, you, my friend. Love Johnny. Johnny's awesome. Aside from the functionality and features in the DAWs, there are two things that need to be addressed. Okay, let's hear it. Pro Tools, Windows and Ableton installation takes forever. Okay. Plugin scans some DAWs and faster than others. Studio One's is pretty fast. You could turn off, I don't know if you could do this with every DAW, but you can turn off, I believe, in Studio One so it doesn't scan your plugins every single time you launch. Right, Johnny? I think you can. I'm almost sure you can. Don't know if that's the case with other DAWs. Pro Tools, I haven't used in so many years and would never recommend Pro Tools to anybody. But people that use it love it. And I'm not too hip on Ableton. I still say Studio One overall is the best DAW, hands down. That's what I always say. The unfair trial plugin is awesome, better than the others. Yeah. How you doing, Daryl? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah. I've already done the Fairchild comparisons with all the other ones. They're all pretty much the same. Some are better than others. I'm sure this one sounds different. It may sound great. And if the good folks over at Undertone want to send it to me to do a demo and a video review, I would be happy to do it, but I'm not going to pay 99 bucks for it because I don't need another Fairchild plugin. But there's one for you for people that want to know. Daryl says it's awesome. And it probably is awesome. Hey, Kevin. It's okay that you're late. Thank you for showing up anyway. I appreciate it. Wants to know how much better in the UA. It's all subjective. They're all going to sound a little different, right? Because they were modeled on different hardware units. So they're all going to sound a little different. Is it going to sound better? That is such a subjective term. The Universal Audio one, to me, as all the ones that I own, is the best one that I own. And you could go watch my video. I did one recently on Fairchilds. I think it was before the kit one came out, though. And I have that one I did a video on, and that one's good, too. Is it better than the UA? Not really. Does it sound good? Yeah, it sounds great. The only one I really don't like is, again, I'm sorry to say, it hurts my heart to even say this, is the PreSonus one. That one, that 6.7, that Fair, whatever they call it, doesn't sound anything like a Fairchild plugin. Nothing. They need to do a better job on those. Johnny, get on it. Get someone in there. Get on it. Make those better. Because if they made those plugins really good, those, the vintage ones, I'm telling you, no other DAW has done that. No other DAW has done that like PreSonus has. It's one of the things I love about them. But they, it was a good first attempt. They need to improve those. But they improve those plugins, man. That's just another reason to get Studio One. Because you wouldn't have to go out and buy any of the other third-party ones. Some people would say you don't need to buy them now. My opinion is yes, you do. But they are still better than nothing. Anyway. Probably want a bus compressor. Would need to be stereo bus anyway. Yeah, get the SSL Fusion. You might be able to get that on sale holiday season, Mike, for probably $2,000, and you could buy it used for less than $2,000. You might even be able to buy it for $1,500, which is what you're looking to spend roughly, right? I would say go get the SSL Fusion. I remember you poo-pooed me on the Neve MBT, and now I have one. I did. You know why? It wasn't because I didn't think the MBT was going to be any good. I have yet to hear a piece of Neve gear that didn't sound good. But you know what turned me on to that was when I tried the Kive Audio and Fuse. And I heard that NBT. I went out the next day and bought the hardware. And that thing, that Neve MBT is great. I love it. Is the plugin is good? No, it's not. I have them both. I use them both. It's not. The N Fuse is awesome. It really is great to have that MBT and the SSL Fusion in the same plugin, and you can mix and match the modules. That's great. But do those sound like the real hardware? Nah, they're in the vein. Do they sound as good as the real hardware? No. Because I had a Fusion, I have the MBT, they don't sound as good. They sound good, but they don't sound like the hardware. The hardware, especially that Neve MBT. But it's expensive. I get it. You're welcome, Mike. I always look out for you. I'll tell you the truth. Then you guys go do whatever you want. Hey, Doug, what's up? Do you recommend the channel strip like the Shelford? That's Neve. You know, that's AMS Neve, right? You're talking about? I would only say yes because it's Neve, and I just got through saying I have never heard a piece of Neve gear I didn't like. But I've never used that. So I don't know. Don't know. But I would find it hard to believe if you bought a piece of Neve gear and didn't like it. So, thanks for reminding us, Dave. Yes, Black Friday, sale early, 60% off all of the courses at Home Recording Made Easy with the coupon code. That includes the premium courses, the mixing masterclass, and all the hybrid mixing courses, right? 60% off. It's the largest sale of the year. Go, 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 and get that. And thank you in advance. Yeah, 25.1. Who knows, in version 25? Are you kidding me? Or you mean 2025? Because if I'm worried for words of 25, John, me and you and everybody else will be in the afterlife. Who knows, right? You never know. Yes, I thought so. You could turn off the plugin scan and startup. Just make sure you do a scan when you add any more plugins so Studio One sees them. Very good, that's true. But I gotta say, I know for me, I don't know. Studio One scans the plugins pretty quick. I mean, at least it does for me. I guess it depends how many plugins you have on your system. I have quite a few. And yeah. Yeah, I don't shut that feature off because it doesn't really bother me. I use Pro Tools and I don't love it. A lot of people use Pro Tools, but you know what? It's the industry standard still. It just is. And it probably always will be for a long time as long as the generation of you know, got to remember a lot of these big studios and such, they all grew up with Pro Tools because it was the first one out. And when you have all that money invested in all the Pro Tools and the HDX, and more importantly, more than the actual cost of it, but when you've been working on it for so long, you get used to it. And if you're working in the music industry, most studios, both large and small, use Pro Tools. They just do. So if you're going to work in that industry regularly, it's good to know Pro Tools. I don't love it either. It's not my favorite of the group, but I understand why people still use it. Hey, Malcolm, how are you? You have a chance to come, to come hear that UTA. I got your email. It's still in my inbox, and I need to schedule that with you. I am going to do that even if I end up getting the Audioscape, because I want to come see your studio anyway, and I want to hear it. But he has a real hardware, the UTA, the Unfair Child, and he loves it. And he's been so kind to invite me to come over. Or maybe I'll make you bring it over here. Then you can come hang out here, Malcolm. What do you think about that? Talking to Johnny Lipsham. Okay, you're debating on the Liquid Sonic 7th Heaven. Love it. Love it. Love that 7th Heaven. You're looking for Bricasti. That's the thing to have. I have it and I use it all the time. Hey, Dave, I love and use Pro Tools. Last update was really good. Oh, okay. Great. Great. If you're a Pro Tools user and you love it, you love it. And as long as it's, you know, the only reason why I didn't like it back in the day wasn't that I didn't like the workflow or anything. I did. It was unstable as all can be. That was the real reason for me switching. Now, again, we're going back a long way. I've been a disciple of Studio One since 2010. So I haven't used Pro Tools since about, I don't know, early 2000s, mid 2000s. And back in those days, and again, you know, the computers back then, you had to have the card, the HDX system, or whatever the hell they used to call it back then. And this was before you can use any audio face with it. You had to use the Avid audio stuff, or at that time, I think it was called DigiDesign, if my memory serves me right. And if you did not have that and you were running native, it was horribly unstable. I would assume with the newer computer technology and the fact that it can run native better and you don't necessarily need H and all that, it probably runs better. But to me, that was always the thing. And the other thing I didn't like, and again, I know this is still true, at least from people who use Pro Tools and have told me this. I'm only telling you secondhand what I've been told very recently. As support, the Avid support is horrendous. Horrible support, I've been told, but I can't vouch for that. I haven't had an experience with it. But I've been told horrible support. I think someone told me they even charge you to talk to tech. I mean, they're the most expensive DAW on the planet. Think still. The support is horrendous from what I'm told, unless you're a big-time studio. And so that turns me off about Avid and Pro Tools in general. But if you have a version of it in a rig that it's set up on, that it's super stable and it works good for you, that's great. That's great. Oh, interesting. Studio One will not have a version number going forward. It will be more date-based. Okay, so it's not going to go version 7, version 8, version 9. Okay, cool. I guess. That's cool. Not sure why they're going to do that, but probably because, like we were saying a little earlier, for you to go from like a version 6 to a version 7 to a version 8, I think you'd have to have like a quantum leap in upgrades. And again, Studio One is already so fully featured. I don't know what the big upgrade would be. That's why I think from 6 to 7, it's not really, to me, it's not a big upgrade at all. It's very underwhelming, in my opinion. But again, I don't fault PreSonus for that because the thing does everything. What else do you want it to do? You know? And so maybe that's why they're going to go more to a date-based, and that's cool. That's cool. Dave said, when he ran Studio One scanning 4,000 plugins, start up and then go out for coffee. Well, I don't have 4,000 plugins. I don't even have half of that. So I guess if you were running 4,000 plugins, but here's the thing, if you only had to scan them the first time, and then you can shut off that feature as long as you don't install new plugins in the interim, you only have to do that once. I'm hoping so, Malcolm. We're going to see. Yeah, Johnny's saying that's why you would turn off that scan feature, which is kind of cool. I don't have 4,000 plugins. I don't have anything remotely close to that. Dave is a plugin connoisseur. I think on my system I have about 1,100, and some of those, I would say a third of those are all demos and stuff that companies gave me that I don't even use. I should probably just uninstall them. I have a lot of those. Honest to God, I mean, even when I was mixing all with plugins, there's only maybe 25 that I would ever really use regularly. So, hey, Steve, what's up? The Shelford is by Rupert Neve Design. Oh, okay, cool. That's what I had thought. Right. So, yeah, I'm sure they make great stuff. I can't imagine that it's not good. Was just looking at the SSL Fusion. Maybe this is just what I need. The idea of a high-frequency compressor. This is where I have issues with MIDI drums, high frequency. There you go. And you'll get the saturation in there, the vintage drive. You get the transformer circuit for a little extra color. Stereo widening, which is really big with orchestral stuff, I would think. Yeah, I think the Fusion might, you could probably get it on sale, Mike. I know their SSL is always putting their stuff on sale, and if it was a little out of your budget to go brand new, go on Reverb and get that used. I know you can get that used for $1,500 for sure. That I think you would, at least then you would have some real impact on your stereo bus. I think much more so than just a straight up compressor. Yeah, I would think. Braxton said he will not buy Pro Tools. I think it's a ripoff and no need to keep up with the Joneses. It's all in the people's head. They got to use Pro Tools or they'll die. Well, I don't know about that, but there are folks out there that'll tell you that you're not a real engineer if you don't use Pro Tools, which is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But Pro Tools is the industry standard. It just is, for everything that I just said a little while back. Mike says he always uses analog style plugins. Great. I'm looking to expand my outboard gear. Finally, great, man. Again, start on your master bus like we talked about, if that's your first piece, like the Fusion. And then beyond that, you can work your way backwards. But yeah, start with your master bus. That's what you want to do for sure. I've read where the S1 CS was also bad, so it depends on who you're talking to. What's the CS? Studio One CS. What's that, Landy? Good to see you, by the way. CS. I know, I know, it's probably right on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. Oh, with an educational discount, $99 a year. Would I qualify for that? Because I am an educator. But that's really, well, that's a pretty good deal. $99 a year, I guess. Guess that's pretty good. You got I got the Wave subscription, and I could scan pretty quick. Yeah, I have the Wave subscription too. I like it. Getting to the bottom of the chat here. What are we? Almost 2 hours. Let's see. As far as the DAW upgrade, how many people are still here, by the way? As far as the DAW upgrades are concerned, there are really not much functionality to be added. I agree. Some DAWs like Cubase may want to rewrite the code for editing MIDI or audio on the piano roll. Yeah, there's probably little things here and there, I would think. But yeah, there's so much it can do. And I always say this, and I know this. I don't know. I only know from the people that I work with. But I work with lots of students, hundreds and thousands of students over the years. I'm telling you, most people don't use more than 10% of what the DAWs are capable of doing. Not even 10%. Some do, certainly, but most don't. So with all the functionality that's in them, I don't know what else you want. I don't know what else anyone would want. There's a used one on SweetWaiter for $16.50. There you go. You get cheaper than that, though. Maybe on Reverb. Yeah. Oh, customer service CS. Oh, so what were you saying? You were saying the customer service. Let me go back and read your comment now. I forget. Oh, that the Studio One customer service was so bad. Depends on who you're talking to. Well, I can't tell you that it's so bad because I don't have experience with it. I can tell you before Fender bought them and they were a smaller company, I had a lot of inside connections in PreSonus. And back then their customer service was great. And I know they still got guys like Johnny Lipsham there that are great. And so I won't say that their customer service is bad. All I can tell you is that almost everyone that I used to know there, with the exception of Johnny, my buddy Johnny, they're all gone. They all left the company. So I don't know. I can't speak for if you go through the regular customer service channels of PreSonus, Studio One, I mean, would you get good support? I would assume you would, and I hope you would. But I can't, and like I said, prior to the Fender buyout, I would have said, without a doubt, probably one of the best customer services on the market in any company in the industry. And I work with lots of companies, man. I'm telling you, they used to be one of the best. They might still be one of the best. I don't know. I don't know. And some of them are horrible. And I have firsthand experience with some of that. I'm not going to mention who they are. I'll tell you, Avid is one of them. Hey, George, how are you? Have you had a chance to use the equipment on Axis Analog? I did. I didn't like it. I think I talked about that. I think it might have been last year. I mean, time goes by so fast. They reached out to me, Axis Analog. They were so kind. They're good guys there, by the way. They were so kind. They gave me 6 months of free access to everything. I found it's a great concept. It's actually revolutionary concept. And when you see how they do it with all the robots and the it's pretty clever. You got to be a pretty big geek to be able to design that stuff. I tried it. I found for me, because you got to do the loop where you got to stream your audio through the thing and it comes back in your DAW. You got to print it. It was clunky. It didn't always work very well. I wasn't thrilled with it. That's why I didn't really, maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. I'm not going to say the stuff's no good because I didn't use it long enough to be able to say that. For my workflow, it seemed kind of clunky to me. Is it a good way to maybe audition a piece of gear that you're thinking about buying? Yeah, I think so. If you have a really, again, I don't know if my internet was acting up that day. I mean, I got a pretty high-speed internet. I never have problems, but I was having all kinds of issues with it. Maybe their server was, I don't know. Is it cool to try a new piece of gear? Like you're looking to get a piece of gear, they have it, you want to try it, you want to demo it. Is it cool? Yeah, I think it's cool. To use it on a regular basis, it seemed a little clunky to me. But I can't say it's not great. Hey, Mark, how are you? Good to see you. Mark Daniel Nelson in the house. Have a great holiday, Mark. I really do appreciate you stopping by. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be watching one of your training courses that I purchased from Produce Like a Pro the week after next. Mark's got some really cool courses on Produce Like a Pro. I own all of them, almost all of them. I think there's one I don't own. And your courses are really great. I've learned a lot from them, and I recommend them to anybody. Mark's one of these guys, really good teacher. A lot of engineers at that level are great engineers, not always the best teachers. Mark's a good teacher. And so, yeah, those are really good. Thank you for stopping in, my friend. Do you have hey, Mark, have any experience with these two pieces? The GainLab Audio Governor or this RSE Audio Stereo Varimu? Have you ever used any one of them? If you have, what's your thoughts on them? Have you tried to use every piece of gear you have on a mix? No. I did. I will say for what we were doing a promotion with Audioscape. I forget what course we were doing. Might have been the cover song mixing chat. I don't remember. But there was one mix where we purposely used every piece of Audioscape gear. Even if I didn't feel like we needed it in the mix, we threw it in just to do an Audioscape thing, which is really cool. Aside from that, no. I got way too much gear in this room. I keep telling you guys that a lot of this gear is going to be thinned out next year. I got my favorites, stuff that I really like. Honest to God, on most of the mixes that I do, if I use a third of this stuff at any one time, it's a lot. I don't use it all. I don't need to. Most of what is here is because as I was learning this over the last 3 or 4 years and learning, how's the hardware compared to the plugin and all that, I needed to try this stuff to know what I like and don't like. And all of it's awesome. But there's a lot of it here that doesn't get used a lot. Not for any other reason it's not in my favorite. So I haven't put it on every single piece of gear. There's no need for that. That would be so overkill. It's ridiculous. But we did do it with Audioscape, and it was a lot of fun. And there is going to be, I am working with Audioscape about, we might do a video series on YouTube for them and for us, not any kind of a paid training thing, but more of a video series on featuring the Audioscape gear in a mix, all the Audioscape gear in a mix. And where I like to use certain pieces on what elements I like, and just a way to help promote Audioscape stuff, because again, I love those guys. Those guys have been so incredibly good to me, and I love their gear. And yeah, so I want to help them any way I can. And so we're going to do something like that in 2025 for sure, probably in the first quarter sometime. It'll all be on YouTube. I've already talked to them. They got some ideas. I have some ideas. We're working on something that we can do to try to help spread the word of Audioscape around. So in that series of videos, you'll see us use all the Audioscape gear. It's like me using 10% of my brain. I can't say customer service is bad. I never used it myself, but what I read on Facebook, oh, you got to be careful, man, on Facebook. Got to be careful. You got to be careful on social media, period, right? I mean, we all know that. Unless you had a bad experience, and again, you're always going to have someone that might have had a legitimate bad experience, right, with a company. But I would be very careful about what you read and post on Facebook or any social media for that matter. If you use Studio One and you ever have, if you have a problem, and you contact them, that's one thing, but I don't know. I only talk about things that I know firsthand that I've actually did myself or put my hands on, or if you guys ask me a question, I'll say, I don't really know. This is what I heard. Like when we talked about some of the warm audio stuff. I have one piece. It's great. I don't know about the rest of their stuff. I've heard good and bad, but I've heard more good than bad. So I try to, that's the difference here. You come here, and I'm going to tell you only what I know to be true with my own experience. That's all. I'm a beta tester for Ableton Live. Oh, nice. In Reason 13 Plus. Really love to have the input on the development of the DAWs. Oh, cool. Good for you, man. That must be fun. Mark, you haven't. Okay, good. Then you'll have to watch the videos when they come out. I will tell you, I only played with this for maybe 15 minutes or so, but this RSE Verimue, Stereo Verimue, this thing is really great. I mean, it really, from what me and David SJ are going to do a deep dive on this thing, but it has got that weight, creamy, fat thing. This thing really does sound great. I don't know what this thing sells for on the market. I want to say it's under $3,000. Yeah, it's around 24 maybe. But if you ever get a chance to check it out, Mark, I will say this is good. The Governor I haven't played with yet, but I do have their EQ called the Empress, their Tube EQ, which is spectacular. So if this thing is anything like that, I'm sure it's really great. You need to have a hardware part. Oh, we're at the bottom of the chat. All right. Okay, we got maybe 10 more minutes, and then we're going to blow out of here. So again, Black Friday sales, homerecordingmadeeasy.com, 60% off everything. Go there, get it, get it, get it. Dave will put it in the chat, right, Dave? Mixingmadeeasy.net. It's going away. Next month is the last month. No longer. 7 years, we're shutting it down. If you want any of the back catalog, I have all of the month's content from year 1 through last month. If you want access to that, go to mixingmadeeasy.net. You can learn how you can get access to any of the courses. I have a whole PDF. You can check that out. So go check that stuff out. Please do that. Because at the end of the year, the mixingmadeeasy.net back catalog goes away forever. You'll never be able to buy it again. It's coming off the website. It's going into the archives. It'll never be for sale again. So if you want it, you got to get it now, now, now. Now, now, now. Okay, we got more questions. Okay, the only thing about Studio One that annoys me is the program loses its setting for plugin folders on occasion. I've never had that issue. Really? I've never had that issue. Interesting. I know all about online safety. I'm 43 years old, and I don't lie. Yes, Take what you read with a grain of salt, my friend. Thank you, Dave, for putting that stuff in the chat. Thank you. Ellie has all these links. Go click on these links, everybody. Come on now. Click on those links. Get your stuff going. Get it going. Get it going. That's true. Johnny's right. And you can get this too. So the very first mix that we did, actually, little fun fact for everybody, Johnny's was the first song we mixed, not on mixingmadeeasy8.net, but before that, there was a website I was a part of called learningtomix.com. We started that in 2017. The very first song on that content was a jazz tune called My Chanel by Johnny Lipsham. And I still have all the videos. And if someone wants to purchase that, they can. It's a great tune. Oops, Alan, sorry. Did I delete your comment? You sent me an email on Save 60. It didn't work. I didn't see your email, and that's impossible. It works. The only thing Save 60 does not work on, and it says it right on the website, there are 2 training packs, the mixing beginners pack and the advanced beginners pack, because there are 2 3-course packs that are already discounted by like 65 or 70% already. So I can't give you another 60% off of that. Those 2 it will not work on. Anything else on the website, it should. If someone has a problem, email me right away. I did not see your email. Send it again, my friend, please. Because if it's not working, I will double check that and make it sure that it works. And I'll get that fixed. But it should be on every other course on the website. But when I set up those coupon codes, I have to manually add the courses one at a time. And I suppose maybe I skipped over one by mistake, but I don't think so. But it will not work on the 2 3-course packs it won't work on. And it says it right on the website because they're already heavily discounted. So just email me, Alan. I'll take care of you. Okay, buddy? I'll take care of you. Ah, $2,400. Yeah, I mean, again, we got limited experience on this, but I will tell you, if you're looking for Verymu, stereo Verymu, sounds great. Sounds great. Ah, was the advanced link. Yeah. You had to read the small print. It's not that small. It's obvious. Get your glasses on. Yeah, if it's on I can't discount something that's already discounted by 60 or 70%, another 60 or 70%. You know, I got a 15-year-old that's got to go to college soon, Alan. Come on now. I already sell my stuff cheaper than anybody else on planet Earth. So, yeah, if you want that 3-course pack, even if you buy it at regular price, it's still a huge discount. All right, Mike, thank you. Take care. Yeah, check it again, Alan. And if there's any issues with any of the other ones, just let me know and I'll hook you up. I'll take care of you. Okay, 5 more minutes and then we're out of here. What else do we got? Anything else? What else you guys want to ask, talk about? Anything else? What's on your Christmas list? What's on the Black Friday sale? Who's spending a lot of money on Black Friday plugins? I haven't bought one yet, although I might buy one. Again, there's this, and it's not even new. It's new to me. I love the FabFilter R2, the reverb. That's a really cool reverb, man, with a lot of cool features in it. I used it on the demo. I did their 30-day trial. I used it as I was finishing up Mixing Made Easy Volume 2 for next year, as I talked about earlier. I used it on the lead vocal and on the background vocal reverb. Man, that thing sounds great. Not that I don't have a lot of great reverbs, I do. But I own a lot of the FabFilter plugins, but I didn't own that one. And I tried it out, and it's on sale Black Friday, like 40% off or something. I think it's less than $100, like $75 or something. I might buy that. Not that I really need it, but I really like it. Yes, please. I got one kid to go to school. Yeah, right. The R2, I like it, man. I like it a lot. I might also demo their delay. I forget what their delay is called. But their R2 is good. Hey, Mark, if you're still here, Mark, Mr. Nelson, What's your favorite reverb and delay plugin? What do you like? What's your favorite? What's your go-to? If you're still here poking around, can you throw it in the chat? I'm just curious. I probably have seen you. I think you like the Liquid Sonics, don't you? Aren't you into the Seventh Heaven stuff? I think that's the stuff you're into. But let's get Mark's opinion. I'd like to know if I'm looking for. I mean, I got for delays. I got you know, Echo Boy and the Slate stuff, and Slate Digital just put out the new what do they call it? Their new Echo unit. It looks like the old what is it? The Space Echo unit was really cool. I really love I always say for delays and reverbs, people laugh at me. I love the Wave CLA Epic. The four delays into 4 reverbs. That's a great plugin. And I have the Seventh Heaven stuff. But yeah, Mark, I'm curious to know what you use for reverb and delay. Mellotron's G-Force. Oh, okay. I don't know that one. Been looking at orchestration training courses. Oh, okay. Courses aren't cheap. Yeah, God bless Black Friday. The Goodhertz DC19 delay. Oh, all right. What else you got? What else? What is everybody's, your number one reverb and your number one delay plugin? Not hardware. My hardware reverb I have is the Audioscape XL305. That thing's killer. Their plugin's really good too. That's a good one. That's a good one. But I do like that Fab Filter reverb. That's really great. That's really good. Maybe Mark stepped out. I don't know. But if he's listening in the background, before we close down the stream, I think he uses Liquid Sonic 7th Heaven. I think that's one I've seen him use quite a bit. And that is really good, man. And they even have the Liquid Sonics. They have like orchestration. They have all kinds of different reverbs and cinematic rooms. And they're pretty pricey, though. They're pretty pricey. If they do a real big Black Friday thing, I might maybe take a look at some of their stuff. I really like their stuff. Liquid Sonics I'm talking about now. Stay around the CLA plugins if I could. Yeah, CLAs are good. Ah, the Valhalla reverb. You know, that's the one. I've never tried the Valhalla stuff. I know it's really popular. Valhalla reverbs, all of them, and the delay. That's another one. If they do the Black Friday deal, maybe I'll check some of those out. I'm in this like reverb delay thing lately. Oh, following from Thailand. Awesome. Welcome to the broadcast. If you're just coming in, we're going to be ending in a few minutes. You can watch the replay, but thank you so much for coming. Thank you to everybody for coming. I really do appreciate you guys a lot. Everyone that shows up here, every time that we get on here, all the support on both the YouTube channels, all the support on all the courses that you guys buy, and some of you here have hired me to do private Zoom training. I mean, I just really appreciate all of you guys, and I thank you so much. And if I can help any of you in any way, reach out to me through either one of the websites. $49, huh? Native Instruments RC48. It's a soft tube one, right? Yeah, that's where I'm probably going to spend some money at Black Friday. Maybe on reverbs and some delays. Like I need those. But those I tend to use whether I'm mixing analog or in the box. I use mostly plugins for reverbs and delays. I don't have any hardware stuff except for that XL305, but that's just patching on the console, and I use that on everything, but it's just a tiny, tiny bit. It's not a herd type of a delay. It's more of a felt thing. So I'm always reaching for plugins for reverbs and delays. So, yeah. So I'm sure I'll be scouting the internet for that stuff. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to break in the action here. Again, I want to thank everybody so much for joining. Have a happy and a safe holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. Maybe we'll see each other again before Christmas. Maybe not really sure, possibly. But stay on the lookout because we got some more great videos coming. And happy holidays to all of you. And a wonderful welcome to 2025. And we'll be seeing each other soon. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.